I just started recording, so you should be good to go.
Great. This is the Mayor Manager meeting on July the 7th already. And in the Teams meeting is Linda Olson, Allison McKinney-Brown, Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, and Shawn Lewis.
Good morning. We'll start with July 13th study session. Got a handful of topics. An update regarding Tri-Cities homelessness study, 2019 financial audit report discussion, and not amazingly, because of the good work of our finance department, we have no significant findings. I don't think I've ever worked somewhere that had no significant findings in their audit.
You know what? That's been the norm for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've never had a year, I don't believe, in my 10 years where we've had anything.
Yeah. City Center redevelopment updates also on this agenda, pesticide use policy update, and civilian oversight methods of law enforcement. Let's see, that's the committee that we've been talking about. Any changes on that one?
Gosh, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to read this, so maybe I'll just take there we go. Took the participants out, made it bigger. For the oversight, so how will that be presented? I think there's several cities that have them. Well, we have, Alex is going to do this, right?
Yes.
And Allison, is it Dorotech? Or
yes.
Do you say that extra O?
Yes, Dorotech. Dorotech.
Okay, sometimes I hear Dorotech and I want to pronounce that extra O. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, so he's presenting with different findings from around other areas, jurisdictions?
Yeah, he's going to do a broad overview, and the police chief will be presenting with him.
Okay.
So he's going to talk about the different forms civilian oversight takes and have the city council provide direction on the type of civilian oversight that they're most interested in seeing. And he's going to ask for those directions at the end.
Okay.
He and I were going to go over his PowerPoint yesterday, but we got busy, so we're going to do that this morning. So if you ask me exactly how much time, I think the 45 minutes should be fine. I've told him to keep his presentation to 20 minutes so that there'll be 25 minutes for questions and to seek input from the city council.
Thank you for saying that, because Shawn and I had a conversation last week about what these amounts of time mean. So if it says study session memo 15 minutes, does that mean 15 minutes of staff presenting and then there's a bunch of time for council to ask questions? And that's how you've been viewing it, right, Shawn?
Yeah, Allison, I think one of the leadership team meetings that you were out of town for, we talked about, since we really don't have control over how much time council will be taking for discussion, we're going to start reporting how much time we need for the presentation.
Okay, put the presentation down for 30 minutes then, Jade.
So then we're going to have to, on each one of these then, decide how much time we're going to allot to it, Nathaniel. So you and I need to decide how much are we going to allow for discussion, and I'll try and keep it to that, because we've been operating with different time amounts of what we think something's going to be, and it became obvious last week when when one of the presentation, not last night, but the thought that, oh no, I still have until whatever time, and I thought no, you get less 15 minutes, but some things just are going to have to go over, and that's just the way it is. But if we can be much more careful about, this is how much time we've allotted, and I know it's not presentation all the way through, that helps. So on the Tri-Cities one, you're going to present, Shawn?
Oh, no, it's going to be Sally Struby and
okay. And Dan.
Dan, yeah.
Annie? Okay. So 15 minutes of their presentation, and then certainly we're going to have questions for, I don't know, at least 15, 20 minutes, do you think? Oh, Daniel, this is not done yet. This is just a peek at it, right? We're not done.
Correct.
And we need to make that really clear. So that would make this at least 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it helpful for me to have like the first time as like the presentation and then I put a second time for questions so that we know what is for each, or would you like me to just update it completely for the total time?
I like that idea, because then council knows it's going to be 15-minute presentation and 15 minutes Q&A. And that's what we've allotted. And if you want to take more time than that, then we're no longer in the meeting. Do you think that would work, Nathaniel?
Well, I guess just more visibility to it. So I'm not sure if it's going to hold us to that time limit, but
well, let's be
people,
realistic.
at least it gives them an idea of what to expect.
Is it realistic to think that 15 and 15 will tell them the full report will come in October or September?
I think for that one specifically, yeah, I think that would be a 30-minute discussion. I'm a little concerned about the civilian oversight.
Yeah.
Okay,
so then,
but
yeah. So then let's go to finance audit, 10 minutes presentation, and then 10-minute question answer. Do you think there'll be more questions in that?
No, I don't expect very many questions on that one.
Okay, let's put 10 in there just in case. City center redevelopment, does he really need 45 minutes to present it?
Good Lord, I hope not.
I hope not. So I don't think your directors are all using the same thing here. I can't, if he does this for 45 minutes, it will be disastrous. I'm not disastrous, but we have more questions than 45, you know,
let's say 15 minutes for the
15.
presentation.
Yeah, okay, 15 and then 30 minutes for a conversation. Does he need direction on this one?
I'm giving it to him now. Oh, on the city center update? I don't believe so, no.
Okay, it's just informational.
Right.
Okay.
Aren't we done with the direction on the city center redevelopment?
No, I don't think so.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of direction we give it once he's got some plans, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not going to be a done deal. What, so then pesticide. Is this one, is Christina going to need direction? Does she have some different options to consider, or is it pretty straightforward?
It's pretty straightforward unless council wants to change directions.
Is 20 minutes what she needs to present it?
She gave 15, 20 minutes. I just went with a higher time. I'm happy to bump it back down to 15 if you would like.
Shawn, why don't you be the judge of that? What do you think? I know that people are going to have questions. This has been a public interest area constantly.
Mm-hmm.
If it's pretty straightforward that we're doing some of the best practices that we can, and
yeah, let's reduce that to 15 on the presentation, and then would you guys need 15 or how much for discussion?
Yeah, 15 minutes for discussion. Nathaniel, correct me if you don't think so.
Sorry, I had to put it on mute. What was the question?
On the pesticide use, 15 minutes presentation, 15-minute 15-minute Q&A. Will you have more? You and Cheryl are the most vocal about this. I really care about it too, but you'll ask the questions I would ask.
Yeah, I can't see it going into that deep of a discussion. Yeah, honestly, I just have one or two questions and just that's it. But just how are we going to get to zero, I guess is my question. But yeah, I don't expect it to get much more than 15 minutes.
Okay. Can you, have you already given those kinds of questions to Director Underhill?
I haven't, but I can. I think yeah, I could provide some, at least what I'm looking for on this. I could only go longer if we start straying away from pesticides specifically and talking about environmental sustainability overall.
Right. Yeah. We probably should add that to topics for a study session in the future and see if we have interest from everybody to have that on the list. To have maybe a study session when we have a little bit less pressing stuff to just really think about overall.
Right.
How do we become?
Do you want me to add that title now for future
Yeah,
study sessions?
green. What would we call it? A sustainable city? Sustainable. That could be everything. Finance, everything. Could be green city. I don't know. Don't you hate it when you type when people can see it?
I know, and I can't spell, and I'm just like, oh, buddy.
That's all right.
Oh.
Come on, Jade, we're watching.
You know what's really funny is I can type it up and I can't write it on the board, and I'll write it up on the board and I'll put, wait, what? That doesn't look right. All right, next.
All right, on July 20th, we have a court update from.
Wait a minute. Alex Dorotix. It's 30 minutes. Is it 15 and 15? Did we do that right?
Yeah, I think so. For the pesticide?
No.
No.
Civilian oversight.
Oh, I'm thinking that's
We've got to go through each one of these if we're doing it this way. Otherwise,
No,
we're going to.
Alex would be just to. I told him to shoot for 20. He's a little bit of a talker, so it might run just a couple minutes longer. So let's put 30 minutes down for the presentation, and then you guys decide question and answer period.
Well, this one's going to take a while.
I think it will, especially because I don't think council understands how complex the decision making is going to be around this.
I think 45 minutes. I just don't see us.
That's fair.
I'd like to plan for more than we. What do you think, Daniel? Shawn?
Yeah.
You've seen us, Shawn.
I agree.
Last night went longer than we expected, but.
Well, 10 minutes of discussion or questions is not very long. That's like 3 questions.
Yeah, so 45 minutes would be the question and answer. So actually, we should probably add these together. So the first one is 30 minutes. The next one is 20. So we're up to 50 minutes.
Now we're 30.
2 hours. Now we're up to
3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that council is really going to get into this conversation when they see the amount of decision making that's going to be required of them. Yeah. I can't see them spending any less than 45 minutes just asking questions and giving directions. I just think we need to be honest that topic's going to run a little over an hour.
Yep, I think everybody wanted to have more conversation. Some people anyway, not everybody, because some people didn't ask any questions at all. But I think there was a lot more going on in people's heads last night on the panel. I would have preferred to have had a conversation, but yeah, I think this is going to be this is our next step. Okay, so that's an hour and 15 minutes on that one. I have a question. Is there any intermediate steps we can take with off-leash dog parks?
What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. It seems to me that we have specific hours that people are not abiding by. And we have people who now think the whole park is supposed to be off leash all the time. And I've gotten emails like that, I've gotten phone calls like that. I have to tell people, you don't think the whole park is 24 hours off leash, do you? Oh, yes. I'm like, no. So there's signage issues. There's, there is enforcement, but I think code is overwhelmed, and to have to go and monitor all of our parks is a difficult one. But it seems like there's a whole bunch of education stuff we could take for the next step if we can't talk about this till August 10th, although that's not that far away. I think we have some issues brewing here.
So then, Mayor, I guess I got a question. So are we going to be talking about off-leash dogs again, or are we going to talk about the recommendations set forth by Parks and Rec? Because to me, that would be a study session. We can talk about the Parks and Rec recommendation.
Yeah.
As a study session, and then from there decide whether or not we are going to act on it at the August 3rd or the August 17th meeting or whenever. But that's the way I see it.
So I think I'm trying to figure out an in-between that, because I think you're right. We've got to respond and just out of responsibility to the Parks and Rec Board that put time into it and our director. But it seems like we have some in-between time that something could change a little bit. And I don't know if it's signage, but you don't want to change signs if you're going to totally redo it. If it's leafleting everyone and saying this is what it is, you're about ready to lose your whole privilege if you don't abide by it. I mean, are there some educational things we could do in the next month that would really calm this down?
Well, you may remember as part of the off-leash campaign we did did do an extensive outreach on this.
Right. That's right.
It was about 4 months ago. But we can certainly do that again. And I don't believe we did direct mailers, so that's another thing we could do.
I mean, what is Dave Lewis saying here? Do we need to do something like that right now while we're waiting a month to a month and a half?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't want to speak for him, but his officers were out in the parks handing out, we created like a small pamphlet, kind of a postcard size, handout about the rules and talked to people. I mean, we literally stood out there and talked to people for days and days. But signage, I think, is a problem for sure.
That was 4 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID. Okay. I think we need to do it again. But I don't want to, maybe your staff come up with what you think might work. But if I think we need to do what Nathaniel said and have a study session and bring it all back, which is like August 10th. But we're a full month, 5 weeks away from that date, and it's summer. And what do you think, Nathaniel?
Honestly, I think we just need to make a decision. I think we're kind of straddling the lines here, and just move forward one way or another based either on the recommendation or keep things as is or something in between. But I think we, council, have to make a call. I think we've had enough with the education piece. I just don't know if that's really going to solve things moving forward.
Yeah, but you're fine with waiting until August 10th on this?
Well, if you look at the calendar, well, the study session, I think.
That's 5 weeks, 6 weeks away.
Jade, I guess when can we fit in the study session to talk about the Parks and Rec recommendation?
Well, right now it's on August 10th.
No, I think that needs to move up.
Well, that's why I'm saying if that's when we're doing it, and that's we need to do something in the in-between time.
Well, what's on July 20th?
Can we do it July 20th?
So we do currently have the court update, and then we also this is where you would place the communications update, but they're being asked if they can move to August 3rd. We could potentially add it in there in replace of that.
Let's do it. Let's ask the judge to move, and let's move this communication update. Does that work, Nathaniel? And then, yep. And then it's our whole study session before our regular meeting.
That works for me.
Okay.
And then do you want to do 30-minute presentation and then 30-minute discussion?
I would like to make it less than 30-minute presentation because I think we've all been reading it. Do you think, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's a 5-10 conversation or 5 or 10-minute presentation, and the rest would be conversation.
Yeah. I think it's going to take a while. But, you know, the reason why we put it later was because we wanted to be back and have a town hall on it. So, Nathaniel, you're saying that you're ready to make decisions without that?
Well, I think that's why we're going to discuss on the 20th is what is the next step from there. At least if the public knows that whether or not we're going to be making a decision in August or September, I think they need to know that. But we can't. I don't know. It's just the other aspect of it is, are we back in council chambers for this? Is this something that we have to do? And now with everything that's going on, I'm not sure.
No, everybody said they wanted to do it. They wanted to move it up, and that doesn't. So we're not going to be together on the 20th. What I'm concerned about is that if we want to get a more open input, I guess we can move it to. We had no trouble last night. We had 18 people on Zoom. Yeah. That's not even. I mean, we don't even get that in an. Unless it's an ADU thing. Dogs will bring people out. I remember in 2008, there were probably 100 people lined up to speak. I've never seen anything like that ever in the past of any other topic. So I know this will be huge. And I think we can do it online without a problem. We had people last night that I was very pleased to see that they've had no trouble doing it through Zoom. No, we're not going to return to, oh, that's a discussion return? Yeah, it is, isn't it? We said we'd talk about it.
Yes, the memo isn't in iCompass yet, but I did, that is the day that you guys wanted to discuss that and talk about what parameters you wanted in place before returning to in-person meetings or yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. So the 20th will be our response to the Parks and Rec thing, and we'll decide from there what we're going to do next. And if there's any intermediate thing between now or July 20th and whatever final date after a hearing, we can decide that night what it will be. I think some council members are going to say we're not enforcing what we currently have, and if we should just do that more, we'll have less problems. So we've got to be able to answer that one. All right, so approval of strategic plan. Want to take it from here, Shawn? Sorry.
What day are we on?
20th.
Okay.
Did we go over everything on the third? Actually, we did.
No, sorry, there's feedback. Is it me?
I don't hear it.
I do.
So I'm sorry, we're on the 20th, right?
No, I think on the 13th. We can go back. Let's look at it, make sure.
Nope, we are on the 20th.
Okay.
All right, so after the off-leash dog program, we'll have the Mayor. I do have a one-on-one with Cheryl, but the sustainability goals that she's created, she's been trying to get those incorporated into the draft strategic plan. So this is a little bit in flux, but when that comes back to you, it would be as a motion and would not, I don't think, need a lot of discussion unless we have added a bunch of things per her request that we need to discuss. Would you like for those to come back in a study session or a regular?
Sorry, I muted, so I didn't get this feedback. Nathaniel, what do you think of that? I mean, we haven't had other council members come up with a bunch of goals and then insert them into this. I'm not opposed to that if that's what we all decide we're going to do, but it does seem to be a little bit out of sync with the way we were doing it. I don't know how to be accommodating.
So Shawn, I guess in terms of the strategic plan, are we too broad? Is that the reason why Member Wink is bringing these up, or?
Oh, no, it's actually a whole new set of goals under the sustainability category, goals and action steps and measurements that council frankly has never seen. So I suppose we could move forward with the strategic plan as discussed at the study session, the last couple of study sessions. And then if you guys wanted to do that as part of your 2021 strategic planning process, we could work them in there as well. Because the other thing I'm a little concerned about, and I'll talk to Cheryl about this today, is that the public hasn't seen these either. The survey went out to the public, and so they've been able to weigh in on the ones that are in your plan now.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Shawn. I think we add them later if that's what the council wants. They're great ones. I mean, I'm not against them. I just think it warrants conversation. And if others had more specific things like that, we ought to have set it up so that everyone could do that.
Right. Okay, well, I'll talk to her about that. Let's leave this on for now, but that shouldn't be more than a 5-minute presentation at most. It's probably more just Q&A, actually. And then we have a resolution for purchase of rugged computers for police, a bill for an ordinance of floodplain adoption, bill for an ordinance of an IGA regarding the Department of Revenue sales and use tax software system. Moving on to July 27th, we've got a study session item on kickoff of the Title 16 community outreach project, a study session about returning to in-person meetings. Okay, these are all study session. June 20th, 2020 financial review, water sewer rate fee progress update. That's going to be the second one. And proposed stormwater improvement projects for South Central Drainage Basin, so S3. And then here's where we moved the judge and the communications update.
So should we go through these now or wait till we get closer to this as to how much is presentation, how much is discussion?
Yeah, whatever you guys want. Because that Title 16, change is hard.
Yeah.
People surely are not thinking we need an hour for discussion.
Yeah, I think they're going with the old system right now, but we'll train people into it. I like your idea of having very specifically how much time are they going to take to present, so that when they see 1 hour, they don't think they're presenting for 1 hour. There is no way we can do that. Well, maybe on this one we do need that. I don't know.
I can double check with them and confirm. It does state in there how long will your presentation be, and then I can also send out an email to all iCompass users just reminding them that we are just needing strictly presentation times. So I will reach out to them and see if for the Title 16 specifically, if it'll be an hour or not.
Thanks, Jade. I really appreciate that. Certainly, it's I have been reinforcing, but I appreciate you're doing the same.
Let's just wait then to put the times in when we get a little closer. We can do it next week.
Okay. Okay, August 3rd, we have the Citizen of the Year update. Hopefully we'll have some more applicants by then. We also have the EPBA agreement will be on this agenda. And I guess we moved the communications update. Yes.
So that was the date that Chris had requested, if that is okay with council.
It's fine with me.
Great. All right, moving into August 10th, we've got the review of the 2021 operating and capital budgets drafts. Budget Advisory Committee 2020 annual report will also be at this study session. And then, yeah, if we're back in person, the annual reviews there.
question, if we're not back in, would either of you be okay with an executive session on Zoom? I hate kicking these down the road. You haven't had this in the timely manner that I think anyone should have.
I don't have any problem with that anymore. I think we've all gotten so adjusted to this format that it would feel normal.
Same.
Okay. I think we should plan to do them one way or the other.
All right.
Would you like me to go ahead and move those to August 17th, as that's already a regular meeting and you'll need a motion to go into executive session?
I guess that makes sense. I was planning to be in Duluth that week. But I won't.
Well, keep in mind, you can always make your August 10th meeting, you know, a regular session if you want to, so that you can do it at that meeting.
Well, it's 3 hours for the budget. I hate to have us talk with you both about how great you are. You'd be worn out.
Yeah, we have been running all of the meetings as special meetings because the needs of this council are the flexibility to be able to handle business as it comes forward, because we are in an emergency situation. So all of these meetings are currently set up to allow to go into executive session with proper legal notice.
So with that said, do we think the budget thing is going to be 3 hours and 15 minutes total?
Another, I'm not sure, I can reach out to her, but we can double check that. The other.
Oh, Jade, I think we lost you.
It stated we can do it with any special meeting, but there is no regular items on that meeting right now.
So I guess I'm asking again, I'm not sure, is the 3 hours, do you all think, I mean, Shawn, do you think that's going to be a 3 hour?
I think that's probably 3 hours total.
Okay. Then,
I mean, we do not probably need to go have each director do the same presentation, I assume, but I think that that's what Maria was planning on. I mean, just saying, worst case scenario, it would be every director getting up and doing their same kind of budget presentation, but with the updates that we've got now.
yeah, I have an idea, and you can, you know, sweep this under the rug or throw it away. I'm wondering if we should ask council. They've all been through it once now, right?
Yes. Oh, you mean the budget process?
No, they haven't.
The presentation.
Sorry, they haven't.
Right.
I'm thinking it would be nice to surface in July what exactly they're going to need at that August 10th. I mean, what she will present. I mean, she uses that great PowerPoint that shows the cycle and what she's doing at each one. But I want to make sure that everybody gets what they want at that 10th meeting.
Okay. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, and that we don't, you know, that it's not just a presentation there, go, well, I would have wanted this or would have wanted that. I don't think that's the way this council works, but I think every opportunity we give them, like, what all will you need in that? Because that's a really pivotal budget meeting.
Yeah, so maybe just to check in July about, yeah.
How she's gonna present to us and what on the 20th is she's gonna give us, and if to find out if there anything else that we would need. I love it that the budget advisory committee's on there. That's great.
Would you like me to have her add that to her existing item for July 27th, or would you like that sooner addressed in July?
I think the 27th is fine.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Jade. Just add it to the June 2020 financial review item. Just have a dual topic a bit.
Mm-hmm. That's a great place for it. That leaves August 17th open again. Which I like. So, yeah, we need a town hall in relation to last night, policing, and I know that August 17th is way too late for that, and so it probably has to be a separate night.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we give August 17th off if we don't need it. If I say that, we won't have any possibility of taking it off.
You know, I think for the telephone town hall, the soonest we could do it would be the week of the 20th. Probably the week of the 27th of July is more realistic.
Yeah.
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 So do you guys want to pick a date? We're open to your direction on that. I frankly would prefer you pick that.
Nathaniel, what do you think? The week of the 27th? That's your list. You think you could do it? So it'll be 28th, 29th, 30th possible nights.
I mean, I think we could do it on the 20th. I would just, yeah. I mean, on the week of the 20th.
Full, so
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't really do it that night, could we? We have off leash.
Oh, sorry. When I'm saying the week of the 20th. I thought you were saying let's not do it on a council night.
Yeah, I'm saying not do it on a council night. I thought you were going back to a council night.
No, I'm saying the week of the 20th we could do, or the week of the 27th.
Right. So we could do 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 29th, or 30th, right? Would those be the doodle dates?
Sure.
I think we start there. Yeah.
So 21, 22, 23, and then 28, 29, 30.
Correct.
Okay, we'll do it.
And we didn't really get direction from council to spend 3,000 or whatever it was to do the calling.
Right.
I certainly don't mind doing that.
Yeah, I didn't even see reactions on faces. Sometimes I can gauge.
It wasn't, but it's already been, I guess it isn't budgeted, but it's going to be used with, it's not like we're asking for additional funds. It's just coming out of 3 different budgets, if I remember correctly.
Right. Well, probably communications or police or a combination of both, right?
Well, it could also be under council's budget, our engagement with the public, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. You guys' travel and training budget is barely touched because no one's traveling. I mean, frankly, all of ours are. But yeah, so if you'd prefer that source, that's fine too.
I don't mind using it for that.
Our events budget, is also much less touched because of that. And we've also made the cancel Citizens Police Academy. And so, there's a little savings there. Long story short, we'll figure the money out unless council has an objection to using the town hall, telephone town hall technology. But I'll check your budget, Mayor.
Okay, and I can ask on the 13th, but you'd have to get it set up as soon as we know the date, right?
Right.
And it'd take you a few weeks. So should we ask a reverse question to council in an email? If anyone has trouble with us spending money this way for that to get the word out, let me know.
Okay.
Although you don't have to have approval for that. You can just do it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, let's just, I mean, you were there, you gave them the idea last night. People can, I don't know why.
I'll check in with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Are we caught up on the agenda?
I think we are. I mean, we don't have to go all the way down, do we?
No. So as far as council requests that I got last night, I've got could the tattoo business in the 3600 block of Broadway apply for a variance to open. It's not actually a tattoo business yet, I believe, right? It's just a commercial space that wants to lease to a tattoo. So we've got that. Could on the off-leash code enforcement statistics, could those be divided up by park? So we'll check on that. I'm gonna have to check in with Councilmember Cuesta on the at-large violations. I didn't quite get that. Did anybody else that's on this call get it?
I'm sorry, what was it that he said?
He was talking about at-large, and I think it was still talking about dogs. Allison, you seem to do it.
Yeah.
What he was asking.
Yeah, what he wanted to know was there was 650 or so violations or citations issued for dog running at large, but he wanted more details. He wanted to know, were those all from a single park, or were those from all across the city, or is there any way to break down where these citations were issued, and are they associated with one or two parks or more?
Okay, so the same one that I said before. I thought that was 2, but you're probably right. I think I've just written it down.
I thought it was 1.
Yeah.
It would also be helpful, and I can't remember when I looked at that, if you could see, were they the same people? Are they repeat offenders? Are we talking only of a handful, or are there 600 different dog owners?
Okay.
And do we know whether they live in Englewood or not?
Yes, we do know that.
Okay. Was that in the data that we got?
No, I don't think he shows that. He's just showing you numbers.
I want to know if we have a lot of out of the city folks doing this, because I think there have been some claims by those who are pro off leash that it's other people.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if you remember when we first started that Unleashed campaign, education campaign, he did report to you guys in that PowerPoint that, yeah, a number of the warnings went to Denver residents. So,
Yeah, that's where I remember it. Yeah.
And we actually you all gave direction to, feel free to give citations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also got from Councilmember Russell the ADA ramp questions, Cornell, east of Broadway, and then the southwest corner of the Simon Center. So I'll work with her on getting those exact locations, and then have not received so far that I've seen this morning in my inbox the emails from John Stone with some additional policing questions. So.
Yeah, could I go back to Member Russell's thing around the ADA? Could staff, I mean, I'd like to add to it, I guess. Could they take a walk around the entire Orchard Place and Simon Center on all those sidewalks? That's the most common call I used to get. I don't get them anymore, partly because it's not my district, I think. That's why I don't get them. But I just wonder if there are trip areas that we're not seeing around that whole area and going to and from the Malley Center.
Sure.
But mostly it's going west to Broadway that I used to get the complaints. Oftentimes it was when it was winter too, and there's a clearing issue on one of the corners with just a lot of drainage that's really hard to keep up.
Right. Okay, added that one.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
I'm looking at my notes. I don't see any others either. Yeah. I think that hit it. Nathaniel, do you have any others?
Those were it. So I'm expecting you not to get John Stone's email until later. It sounded like it was very comprehensive. So.
Yes, well, he's launched some good discussions here at the city among staff on that, so I'm looking forward to getting them.
Yeah, we probably should figure out how we're going to do this town hall. would it be okay to do some kind of have everybody email you what kinds of things they want to see happen in a town hall?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
And then we can talk about it in a prep meeting.
Yeah, I think understanding the functionality of the telephone town hall, because I think that there are probably some survey questions we can sprinkle in that could be actually instructive from the public. And then, I think we have the opportunity for, to really get some good feedback and information from the residents on that. So yeah, can I get you a list of the functionality of the system? And then I'm meeting with Chris and police on Thursday to kind of go over what some options on that. And then I think I might get better feedback from a list of options rather than an open-ended, but I certainly will do the open-ended as well.
I think that sounds great. Well, Daniel, do you have any feedback?
No, that sounds good, but I'm also trying to figure out exactly what the format should be and what it is that we're trying to get out of this. So, but no, that sounds good, Shawn.
Well, the goal for me, sort of an overall goal, is to get citizen input. And so we've got to be asking some key questions that will help them give input. Our survey just went out, which also asked some questions about policing and that and safety. I just got that yesterday. Did it just go out to everybody?
I think you're right. Yes, it did.
But I think specific questions around what the challenges are currently and thinking about unhoused and mental health issues, those kinds of things. Yeah. Also, Shawn, I would love to send a thank you note to our panelists.
Okay.
Should I just do that by email or?
I actually wrote 4 thank yous last night during the meeting.
Good.
But you know what? Why don't we do what we did with Krista and just have a letter from you? We'll use your electronic signature. She'll run the text by you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get those
did
done.
An absolutely outstanding job on the one for that Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No. All right. Sounds like a plan. We are finished at 9:20 and the Mayor Manager meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Stay cool.